Well, Jack Del Rio's Jacksonville Jaguars coming to a place that they are all too familiar with, Lucas Oil Stadium, downtown Indianapolis. Jacksonville at 2-6 had the bye week last weekend. His counterpart Jim Caldwell, year 3 as the Colts head coach, his 10th season with this Indianapolis organization, trying to right the ship and desperately trying to get Indy its first win here in 2011. Well, Colts fans have seen this guy in their nightmares over the years. Josh Scobie on to kick it away to get things started as we are just about ready here in Indianapolis. Joe Lefebvre stands back deep to receive from his own end zone. Spiro Ditas, Steve Berline, our entire CBS crew from Indy as Week 10 of the NFL season is upon us. Scobie's kick end over end. Lefebvre will take a knee in his own end zone as Indianapolis will start from their own 20-yard line. Curtis Painter 0-6 as the Indianapolis starting quarterback. You see some of his numbers on the season. 5 picks in those 6 games. He's got a strong arm, but accuracy has been one of his issues so far this season.
Well, you know, the other thing about Curtis Painter, Spiro, he came out like a gangbuster his first 2 games of the season. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, big yards passing the ball, but the last 4, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions.
Colts ranked 3rd to last in the NFL in points at just over 14 per game. Painter goes through the airways on first down. It's incomplete. Dwight Lowry applying the coverage. Colts offense injuries along the front have been part of the story for the Colts. Joe Wright still on the shelf, so the rookie Mike Tepper today makes his 3rd NFL start. Speaking of injuries, Dallas Clark going down last week with a leg injury. No timetable for his return, so Jacob Tamme, the only remaining healthy tight end that is familiar with this Colts offense. Painter under center on 2nd and 10. This is Donald Brown making the start today. Brown trying to bounce to the outside. Came on early last week after DeLon Carter, the rookie, fumbled on the 2nd play from scrimmage. Jacksonville's defense much improved, 5th in the NFL in total yards. Terrence Knighton, their talented D tackle, is out today. His string of 40 straight starts ending due to injury. C.J. Mosley starts. You see the linebackers and the back end of the secondary, a unit that has been so impressive. And speaking of which, they come up with a pick. That's Drew Coleman as Painter, trying to again thread the needle to the outside, is picked off for the 6th time this season.
Well, you get yourself in these 3rd and long situations, backed up. You're asking for trouble. Curtis Painter under a little bit of pressure, but that is a throw outside. You've got to be sure before you hang that ball up on the outside. Obviously, a big mistake for Curtis Painter and the Indianapolis Colts early. Drew Coleman, that's about as easy as it gets on the outside. Colts are fortunate he didn't take that in for a touchdown.
Well, Jack Del Rio has talked about Coleman so much. Nickel back. He says just gets them off the field on 3rd down. So Blaine Gabbert onto the field. Their first play from scrimmage on 1st and 10. Maurice Jones-Drew gang tackled and dropped for a loss at the 21. So the rookie Blaine Gabbert went from 3rd string just days before the opener to starter in Week 3. 1-5 since taking over the helm. You see his numbers on the season: 5 touchdowns, 4 picks, and 1-5 as the Jaguars starter.
And Jack Del Rio told us over the bye week they broke down every single pass play of the year. He sat down with Blaine Gabbert. They talked through every single pass he's thrown this year. They want to make sure he continues to make progress.
Maurice Jones-Drew, Greg Jones line up in the I formation on 2nd and 12. Gabbert, play action, intercepted. And Indianapolis gets it right back. It's Gerard Powers with the pick. Powers with the only Indianapolis touchdown last Sunday against the Falcons. The first pick 6 of his career gets the Colts the football right back.
Wow, this is truly a rookie and a rookie mistake. It'll cost Jacksonville.
Well, here in Indy, 2 offenses that are at the bottom of the league in terms of output. And so far that has held true today. Both quarterbacks throwing an early pick as Curtis Painter and Indianapolis take over 1st and 10. Donald Brown getting the start. Breaks the tackle, has the first down out past the 40. And finally brought down from behind at the 42 after a run of 24 yards.
This is exactly what Indianapolis needed. Come out from their own end zone. You get a nice seam for Donald Brown to hit. You see the great cutback right there behind. Just too quick for the Jacksonville defense to react to. Big run for the Colts right there to get them out of their own territory.
Brown's run gives him the 1st and 10 from the 42. Brown again cutting to the outside. The acceleration and the agility by Brown, the 24-year-old former star at Connecticut, as he picks up 9 more and sets up a 2nd and short.
You know, the one bright spot for this Colts offense at this point has been their running game. They've rushed for a pace. They're on pace to rush for over 1,600 yards this year. Last time they did that was 2007, so they have been encouraged by the running game.
Well, let's see what Painter does here. 2nd and short. They'll give it to Brown again. And that time the front 4 of the Jacksonville defense holding true as Brown is dumped down at the line of scrimmage. Brown last weekend the 2nd highest single game rushing total of his career. Carried it 16 times for 70 yards in that 31-7 loss here against Atlanta.
And one of the reasons they're running the ball better this year, Spiro, than in years past, they're running it more. They're basically, they've become a running team because Peyton Manning is not out there calling the shot.
This is 3rd and 1 just inside Jaguars territory. Banner gives to Brown. Needed to get to the 48. I don't think he got there. So the Colts had it 2nd and short, Steve, and it does not look as though Brown got the 1st down.
Yeah, and that's, well, and the fans don't like it. Jim Caldwell electing to punt this ball early in the game. I can understand their frustration, and that's one thing that the Indianapolis Colts do not have is an established power back. Now, DeLon Carter, who will play today, is more of a power back. I'm surprised he wasn't in there carrying that football.
Pat McAfee on to punt, 3rd-year kicker. And Rasheed Mathis standing at his own 10. Mathis signals for the fair catch. Fields from the 13. And that's where Blaine Gabbert will take over when we come back. A 36-yard punt. Early struggles for both quarterbacks here in Indianapolis.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. KFC, introducing the new KFC Cheesy Bacon Bowl. Today tastes so good. And by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, Indianapolis unable to move the chains after some favorable field position. So Blaine Gabbert, the rookie quarterback, back under center for Jacksonville after throwing an early interception in his 1st quarter. Maurice Jones-Drew has some real estate out past the 20 and sets up the Jaguars with a 2nd and short. You mentioned Jacksonville's issues offensively, dead last in the league, Steve, in scoring at just over 12 points per game.
And look who's number 3, Indianapolis, 14.2. But yeah, Jacksonville, they are struggling offensively, ranked 32nd in the league in total offense, in pass offense, and in points scored. So obviously they're hoping for better things this 2nd half of the season.
Jones-Drew with 8 yards sets up a 2nd and 2 from the 22. He's got the 1st down out past the 20 and brought down at the 27 by David Caldwell. Jack Del Rio, in our meeting with him last night, Steve, said, you know, we're a pretty good football team. We don't resemble a 2-6 team when you watch us in practice. We can defend well. Our special teams, for the most part, have been good. We just can't throw it and catch it real good right now.
And his comment was, if you didn't know they were 2-6, you went into their facility, you'd actually think they were more like a 6-2 team. The team is confident. They believe they're good. They've just got to get some good things happening for them.
This is 1st and 10 from the 26. Gabbert going play action. Has the mobility, will keep it himself, and runs out of bounds at the Jacksonville 30 after a pickup of about 4.
I think 2 weeks ago, Spiro, that would have been a run that Blaine Gabbert, he is very athletic. I think he might have tucked that and tried to get a few extra yards, but we saw that hit he took last week in Houston from Brian Cushing when he actually was trying to slide, and he realized that he's no longer in Missouri or in Kansas, to borrow a line from the Wizard of Oz. He's in the NFL. These guys hit when they get a chance.
Early offensive numbers for both teams. This is 2nd and 6 just outside the 30. Gabbert hit as he throws. It's incomplete. As Dwight Freeney, the man who applied the pressure. And it will be 3rd and 6.
This has been one of the most frustrating things for Jacksonville, for everybody involved. Blaine Gabbert, Jack Del Rio, and Mercedes Lewis, the one who drops this ball right there. Could it have been a better throw? Yes, it could have been. Blaine Gabbert's arm was hit as he was coming through, but Mercedes Lewis is a Pro Bowl tight end. He's got to make that catch, and Jack Del Rio said a very big priority is to get him involved in this offense second half of the season. No touchdowns this year.
Jarrett Dillard onto the field for the Jacksonville Jaguars on 3rd and 6 from the 31. Gabbert over the middle, it's incomplete, and Jacksonville will punt. And once again, Mercedes Lewis, the intended target. And Jack Del Rio, we touched on it. He mentioned Mercedes as one of the guys, one of his studs that needs to start picking it up for this offense.
He came right out and said it, and he also said he told Mercedes, hey, we need to see more of you in the second half. Now, what happened was because he had such a great year last year, he's now more of a marked man. It's more difficult to get open for him.
Pierre Garçon stands back deep to receive the punt. Here's Garçon from his own 25, dancing on the sideline and forced out of bounds after a return of maybe a yard. A 44-yard punt as we are still scoreless in Indianapolis. Timeout. Well, of the 4 starting rookie quarterbacks, Blaine Gabbert has certainly struggled the most, and you see some of the first-year guys that have performed in recent years. Tim Tebow, of course, now the starter in Denver, coming on in 2010 with Sam Bradford. And among the others last season, Blaine Gabbert, of the 4 this year, certainly struggling the most, Steve. But, boy, he walks into the room, and he is still as confident as ever. It feels as though that he'll eventually turn it around with this offense.
And he admits that he's maybe a little bit too confident in himself. He showed it on that first pass he threw down in the red zone. A major mistake to throw an interception when you've already got points on the board, but that's because he thinks he can get it in there. And he's got to learn he can't always force it in there.
Curtis Painter back onto the field for the Colts. 1st and 10 just outside the 30. This is Donald Brown. Chased out of bounds by the linebacker Darrell Smith after a pickup of 2 yards. Well, so different to see this Indianapolis offense without Peyton Manning, and an offense really going to the run much more than we've seen than in years past, and for obvious reasons.
No doubt about it. This is an offense that last week had only 10 first downs versus Atlanta, 186 total yards. You think that would be a half for Peyton Manning on a normal week.
Painter going play action on 2nd and 8. Finds Brown out of the backfield. But Brown tripped up, losing his balance after the catch as he is dragged down by the former Indianapolis Colt, Clint Session, facing his old team today for the first time.
Now, this is about the time in the ball game, too, Spiro, where these quarterbacks now, they've been hit a couple times. They've got the adrenaline rush kind of over. They're back in their game mode. Now, they should start settling down and making some plays here at this point.
Painter in an unfavorable situation here on 3rd and 10. Will work from the shotgun. Pocket collapses and Painter is dropped down for the sack. At the Indianapolis 26, Jeremy Mincey got there first as the Colts lose 4 yards.
That was Jeremy Mincey and Matt Roth. You see they're coming inside, they're jumping on top of Curtis Painter. Never really had a chance. You get in these 3rd and long situations, like the interception that Curtis threw in the first drive, 3rd and long, a little bit of pressure right there, a sack. It leads to bad things for your offense.
Pat McAfee with the kick, and contact coming before the kick got there as Mike Thomas signaled for the fair catch. And a huge mistake by the Indianapolis special teams. It was Jacob Lacey who got there prematurely. A 53-yard punt by McAfee will be negated here by this penalty marker. At least that's what we are assuming.
You're exactly right, Curtis. Spiro. I'm looking at Curtis Painter. Jim Caldwell frustrated. We saw him there a minute ago. He's playing the field position game. He had the 4th and short. He went for the field position punt. It worked in their favor. And then right here, you don't want these dumb mistakes to end up affecting your yardage, your hidden yardage in such a significant way like this penalty will do. Now, I think they're discussing whether or not Lacey was blocked into the return man, but I don't think it was at all. We'll get a chance to look at it again, I'm sure, but Lacey was, I think, just a little bit overconfident in his timing on that punt. We'll see right here. I think he had a chance to pull up for sure. He was blocked a little bit. Now, there was contact. I don't think Lacey would have stopped anyway. That was Drew Coleman bumping him a little bit.
So a long conference amongst our officials here. Here's the call.
Fair catch interference. 27 on the kicking team. The 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Now, the fans don't like it. Jim Caldwell doesn't like it, but it is the right call. I think Lacey, he needed to pull up a little bit earlier.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Toyota. And by Sprint. All football, no limits, only from Sprint.
Lucas Oil Stadium, downtown Indianapolis. Jacksonville, Indianapolis still scoreless. 7:28 to play in quarter number 1. Lane Gabbard and company on field. 1st and 10. This is Maurice Jones-Drew, who approaches the 50, and with that run, he becomes the 2nd Jacksonville runner to get to 6,000 rushing yards for his career. Fred Taylor, the only other man that's done it.
And I'll tell you, the kid earns every single one of them. And he's on pace again to, if he continues and stays healthy, to go over 1,300 yards for the season. Be the 3rd time in a row that he does that. Be the first Jaguar to do that.
Jones-Drew, the 2-time Pro Bowler, entered the day 6th in the NFL in rushing. Jones-Drew, another burst, taking on tacklers inside Colts territory, down to the 37-yard line. A little battering ram, picking up 15 more yards and a Jaguars first down.
And you see his ranks there in the NFL coming into today. I'll tell you, Darrelle Revis, you look at some of the comments from different players around the league. Darrelle Revis, the all-everything corner for the New York Jets, referred to Maurice Jones-Drew as a defensive coordinator's worst nightmare because he can hurt you in so many different ways.
So 1st and 10. Gabbard under center. Give it to MJD again, and why not? Steve, you talk to defenders around the NFL, and you ask them who the toughest guy is to bring down, and 99% of the time they mention Maurice Jones-Drew.
You're exactly right, and it's not because of anything other than it's a game of leverage, and he's so powerful and he's so low to the ground that he's hard to get underneath. He's always got the advantage on you. Low man wins, and the power he's got makes him very, very difficult. You combine that with his competitiveness and his desire, he's a tough man to bring down.
We'll get a break here. Deji Kareem on the field on 2nd and 6. Kareem takes the carry, and he gets in on the action as he picks up the first down to the Colts 25. Let's go to New York and an update with James Brown.
Hey, Spiro, how do you think Tim Tebow's getting it done? Hey, opening drive, all running plays, 8 for 57 yards. This 7-yard touchdown by Tim Tebow. Broncos up 7-0 early in Kansas City. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. Let's take it back to Spiro and Steve.
Well, Steve, it's never pretty, but with Tim Tebow, he just somehow finds a way to get his team into the end zone. 1st and 10, penalty marker appeared to come down, but no marker is thrown after a minimal gain and a loss of yardage on the play as Fili Moala gets there first for Indianapolis, a loss of 5.
That was just an absolute domination up front. Fili Moala came out like he was shot out of a cannon and was in that backfield. Kareem had nowhere to go on that play whatsoever. There was also 3 other blue shirts in the backfield. Moala was the one that gets credited with the tackle.
So 2nd and 15. They spot it just outside the Colts 31. Gabbert hit as he throws. It's complete at the 28-yard line. But the Colts defense quickly converging after a pickup of 4. Let's go back to New York and James Brown.
Tony Romo looking good in the early going, Dan. Oh, yeah, he's absolutely been perfect. 10 for 10, 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. This 5-yarder to LaRon Robinson, wide open. Tony Romo's been perfect in Dallas. Last 4 regular season meetings decided by 4 points or less. Right now, Dallas comfortably ahead. Back to Spiro and Steve.
JB thanks here. Critical 3rd and 11. After Zach Potter picks up minimal yardage on 2nd down. Gabbert from the shotgun. Out of the backfield, Maurice Jones-Drew makes the catch but picks up only a yard. As Jacksonville well short of the first down marker, Antoine Bethea with the stop.
Just great recognition by Indianapolis, by Antoine Bethea, as you said. Maurice Jones-Drew trying to flare out, and Bethea reads it all the way, makes the good open field tackle. You know who made that play a little bit more difficult for Jacksonville was Robert Mathis. He read Maurice Jones-Drew coming outside and got in that passing lane. Blaine Gabbert had to kind of go over the top.
Josh Scobie, who has had so many memorable moments against this Indianapolis team, on for a 44-yard kick. It's up and perfect. Scobie 15 of 15 to start this 2011 season, and he's given Jacksonville a 3-0 lead here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Timeout.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Well, it hasn't been pretty for Blaine Gabbert in Jacksonville, but they'll take the 3-0 lead. Late stages, first quarter here from downtown Indianapolis. Spiro Dedes, Steve Berline, our entire CBS crew here in week number 10 in the NFL. Jacksonville at 2-6 off a bye. The Colts, meantime, 0-9. And trying to avoid becoming the 8th team in the last quarter century to start 0-10. And Steve, you talk about rock bottom. This was it. 62-7 at New Orleans in late October. 17-point loss at Tennessee. And here at home last weekend, drubbed by the Falcons 31-7.
They've been
69 reports as an eligible receiver. Number 69 is eligible.
By almost 100 points in those last 3 games, 120-24. So it's been a nightmare 3 weeks for Jim Caldwell and these Colts, but hoping to rebound today.
Well, can this offense generate any kind of production? As we get a penalty marker whistling this play dead.
87 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And Steve, this has been a theme. They have had terrible starts to games this season on both sides of the football.
Well, if you analyze it, Spiro, the bottom line is that this is an organization, since Peyton Manning was drafted with the first pick overall, that has never had to deal with life without Peyton Manning. They've never had to adjust without him being on the field. So it's a transition going on right now.
After the penalty, it's 1st and 15 from the 15-yard line. This is the rookie, DeLon Carter. Good yardage on first down, out past the 20 after a pickup of 7. Meantime, the story for the Jacksonville defense. Free agency finally factoring in after they had gutted the roster, Steve, with their general manager, Gene Smith, for the last 2 years. They shelled out $37 million to 3 of those guys defensively.
And this is the defense that was ranked 28th in the NFL last year, all the way up to 5th. They've made the improvement on that side of the ball.
Carter this time dumped behind the line of scrimmage on 2nd down. The linebackers among the most improved units, Steve, in the NFL behind Paul Posluszny.
Yeah, you bring in Paul Posluszny and Clint Sessions, as you talked about earlier, but Posluszny at the halfway point, already 100 tackles coming into this game. 4 consecutive seasons before that in Buffalo with 100-plus tackles. He's the real deal, legitimate middle linebacker, and he's led that defense very well to this point.
Austin Collie comes onto the field for the Colts on 3rd and 10 from the 20. Painter throwing off balance. He finds his intended receiver, and Indianapolis finally able to move the chains. It's Jacob Tamme with a reception of 29 yards.
Well, Curtis Painter is a fairly athletic quarterback. He rushed for 79 yards earlier in the season against Tennessee. Look at him move up in the pocket, on the move, comfortable, buys a little time.
Reports as an eligible receiver. Number 69 is eligible.
Finds Jacob Tamme wide open on the sideline when the play broke down. That was their third consecutive 3rd and 10. That's the first one they've converted.
Just the second first down for Indianapolis today. Little misdirection, end around. It's Pierre Garçon inside Jacksonville territory and forced out of bounds at the 32. A late marker comes in after the tackle. Dwight Lowry forcing Garçon out, but not before a pickup of 18 yards.
A good execution on that end around. Caught Jacksonville over pursuing to the football.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 25. The defense. 15-yard penalty. And at the end of the run, first down.
And that's Dwight Lowry, number 25, called. He was traded from the New York Jets in September. Good execution on this play. You see Reggie Wayne downfield running, blocking, and you saw just a little bit of contact with that face mask.
So after the penalty, they mark it at the Jacksonville 18 on 1st and 10. Jaguars coming with the blitz. They snuff it out, a fumble on the play. And Curtis Painter able to fall on it. But Indianapolis losing double-digit yardage on first down. Clint Session, the man who got there for the Jaguars.
All right, that's a great example, Spiro, to me, of why this team misses Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was the best ever at diagnosing the defense on the field at the time. He would have never run that football into that blitz. Right there, I'm not putting that on Curtis Painter, but Peyton Manning would have found a way to get out of that play and change it to a better play for him.
They lose 17 yards, and it's 2nd and 27. Carter has had fumbling issues in recent weeks. Fumbled on a second play from scrimmage last weekend against Atlanta. And he's got the jitterbugs early in this game in Indianapolis. End of one, Jacksonville with a 3-0 lead. No points expected to be at a premium today, and that has certainly been the case so far. Jacksonville with a 3-0 lead as we begin the second quarter here from Indianapolis.
And Curtis Painter should be thinking about just trying to get 10 to 15 yards on this play, making an easier kick for Adam Vinatieri.
3rd and 26. A hard hit. Garçon makes the catch and is brought down at the Jacksonville 24. Pickup of 11. Tackle made by Posluszny.
Boy, what a great play by Pierre Garçon. Good ball, but Rashean Mathis, one of the best corners in football. Longtime Pro Bowler for the Jacksonville Jaguars, makes the hit. But Garçon tough enough to make the catch and get a few extra yards.
Vinatieri has been awfully good at home. This will be from 42 yards out. 2-time Pro Bowler. 6th season with the Colts. Plenty of distance, and Vinatieri has evened this game at 3. Early stages, second quarter, Indianapolis desperately seeking its first win of 2011. Timeout. A 42-yard field goal by Adam Vinatieri has tied this game at 3. Early second quarter, 40 seconds gone by. Pat McAfee with a booming kick and field by Deji Kareem in the back of the end zone. Oh, he touched on Maurice Jones-Drew's season. Came into the day just under 800 yards for the season. Boy, he has had to carry this offense, Steve, on his back with some of the passing issues that they've had behind their rookie quarterback.
He really has, but you know what? He welcomes it. You know, Blaine Gabbert made the comment, and Maurice Jones-Drew was in the meeting with us yesterday with Blaine Gabbert. Gabbert said, we can't give it to Maurice Jones-Drew 45 times a game. And MJD just looked at him and smiled and said, yes, you can.
I told you earlier, he entered the day 6th in the NFL in rushing coming into Week 10. Here's Gabbert on play action. Rolling out, throwing on the run. He completes to his man. It's caught just outside the 30, a pickup of 12 yards. So Gabbert, after that slow start, able to move the chains. This November, join the NFL Salute to Service campaign to honor our nation's veterans and active servicemen and women. Learn more at NFL.com/salute.
Yeah, that was a nice throw by Blaine Gabbert right there. Rolling to his right. You saw his athletic ability. Big pickup to Chasen West. Chasen West with only his second catch of the season right there.
So 1st and 10 from the 32. Quick release again, trying to locate West. But Gabbert off target. And it will be 2nd and 10. Back to New York and an update with James Brown.
But Andy Dalton is on target. Oh, yes, and two impressive rookies right here. Andy Dalton rolls out to his left. He's looking down the field for A.J. Green. Throws it up over two Pittsburgh Steelers defenders. Gets the 36-yard touchdown. It's 14-7. Still Pittsburgh up in Cincinnati. A.J. Green hurt that right leg. We'll keep you updated on his status. Back to Spiro and Steve.
Well, JB, you know that combo Dalton to Green is going to be heard from for many years to come.
After the incompletion, 2nd and 10. Gabbert pitches to Jones-Drew. Pat Angerer will enter the day as the NFL's leader in tackles. Got him around the ankles, and it will be 3rd and long. Had a chance to visit with Angerer here on Friday. Had a taste of the good life here as a rookie last season, Steve, with a 10-win season. Birthed into the playoffs, and now the flip side, 0-9, as this team is at the opposite end of the spectrum.
When we asked him what he's learned through this experience, he said, I've learned that there's not a huge gap between winning and losing in this league. It's such a fine line. It's hard to win a football game. You take away your cornerstone, it's even more difficult.
Gabbert on 3rd and 11 from the shotgun. Steps in, hit hard as he released. Incomplete, trying to find Chasen West. And Jacksonville will punt.
You know, you are playing right into the Colts' world when you drop back in 3rd and long like that. That's what they want. That's what they're built to do. Pressure up the field from Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney. They force you to step up into the pocket, and they get hits on the quarterback in those situations more than anybody else.
Nick Harris will punt. And Pierre Garçon standing back at his own 20. Garçon signals for the fair catch. Fields just inside the Colts 35, and that's where Curtis Painter will take over when we come back. 33-yard punt, 3-3 in Indianapolis.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Scottrade. See for yourself why so many investors are saying, I'm with Scottrade. The HTC Resound, the only phone with built-in Beats audio. And by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness.
AFC South matchup today. Two old division rivals getting together. Jacksonville and the Colts tied at 3 with 12:48 to play before halftime. Curtis Painter in Jacksonville, and Indianapolis rather, just 74 yards of total offense, and here he is sacked for the 2nd time today. Back at the Colts 22, Darryl Smith, who has long been regarded as one of the top linebackers in the NFL, getting there first.
Nothing too tricky about it, just straight pressure up the middle. There was no stunt, no game between the defensive lineman and the linebacker. You see number 52, Darryl Smith, right up the gut, the long-time big player for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars career leader in tackles at over 1,000 for his career. Here's Donald Brown. Good start for him, making the start today after some of the fumbling issues that DeLon Carter, the rookie, has had of late. And you see some of his handiwork today.
Well, it just goes to show you, if you put the ball on the ground, the coach is going to try and find somebody else. DeLon Carter learning the hard way right now. But Donald Brown, he's shown flashes, but he's never had the chance to be the guy. Joseph Adai, been the man here for the last several years, but Donald Brown's got an opportunity here, and he's running well today.
That was Brown in 2010, December of last season, 129 yards and a touchdown against this Jacksonville defense. 3rd and 8, Painter. Again under pressure, he's sacked again. A marker comes in behind the play. At the Colts 25, John Chick leading the charge for Jacksonville. Injured Jaguars defender being looked at way back at the Jacksonville 47.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Well, I believe that's Rasheed Mathis on the ground.
So they continue to look at Mathis. We'll step aside, timeout in Indy. Well, Rasheed Mathis helped off the field, unable to put any weight on that left leg. We'll try to get an update as quickly as we can, but a bad penalty meantime taken by the Jacksonville defense on a sack of Painter. Gives the Colts an automatic first down, 1st and 10. Brown tackled by Jeremy Mincy. It was Nate Collins, Steve whistled for that penalty before the break.
And that's a devastating play to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rasheed Mathis, left leg injury, not good to have your one of your best playmakers on defense go out that way. They're obviously concerned about it, but you give up a big sack, give Indianapolis a first down and new life.
Painter from the shotgun on 2nd and 10 from the Colts 41. Brown has been the workhorse off the far side, forced out of bounds by Smith after a pickup of 5. Well, Jacksonville's defense, the early pick on Painter, and they have gotten to Painter early and often in this first half.
They have, but you know what? It just shows you, though, you have to be a disciplined team. And Jacksonville, the 3rd least penalized team in the NFL, that last penalty killed them.
This is 3rd and 5 from the Colts 47. Painter airing it out down the far side. First time he's looked at Reggie Wayne today. Incomplete, and the Colts will punt.
Well, you see Reggie Wayne there. You got to find a way to get the football to this guy. There's good coverage by William Middleton. A little bit of miscommunication with Curtis Painter and Reggie Wayne, but you could sense, we talked to Reggie Wayne on Friday also, you could sense the frustration in him of not having Peyton Manning all the years together, all the incredible things they've accomplished. It's a learning process for him as well.
McAfee under pressure. Mike Thomas signals for the fair catch at his own 20. And that's where Blaine Gabbert and company will take over a 33-yard punt as we are 9-3 in Indianapolis.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Kay Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K.
Oh, looks like Rasheed Mathis will be carted into the Jacksonville locker room. It appears to be a left leg injury. They're examining that knee. And Steve, it certainly doesn't look good. We'll try to get an update as quickly as we can. Mathis a mainstay on this Jacksonville defense. 1st and 10, Maurice Jones-Drew. Gang tackled, Pat Anger among the tacklers for Indianapolis after a pickup of 4. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report from New York. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower with all the latest NFL scores and highlights. Week 10 around the National Football League. It's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
Number 78 reports as an eligible receiver. Number 78 is eligible.
Del Rio clearly concerned during the timeout, went over and leaned over as his medical people were looking at Mathis on the sideline. Meantime, it's 2nd and 6 from the 25. Gabbert play action. Throws off his back foot to Maurice Jones-Drew. Absorbing contact. Has the first down. After a pickup of 10 brought down at the 35.
And we're told that it is a knee injury for Rasheed Mathis. His return is questionable. You hope for the best because, as you mentioned, Jack Del Rio concerned. He not only is such a great football player, 9th-year guy out of Bethune-Cookman University, but he is a leader on this football team and a real rock for that defense.
Today, his 125th career game. He has started every one of them. Here is Maurice Jones-Drew. Out past the 40, picks up 6 yards. Tackle made by Connor.
Well, it looks to me like this Jacksonville offense is getting a little bit of rhythm. You're talking about the 32nd ranked offense in the NFL going against the 31st rated defense in the NFL. But the one area where you really figure Jacksonville will expose them is in the running game. The Colts are 31st in the NFL against the run. Jacksonville, a good, solid running team every year, 12th in the league so far this year.
Deji Kareem on to spell Jones-Drew here on 2nd and 4. Kareem on a give from Gabbard. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage as Jacksonville will face a 3rd and short. Ricardo Matthews making the stop for the Colts.
Well, these are the situations you want to keep your young quarterback in. We talked earlier about Curtis Painter facing the 3rd and longs so many times in the first part of this ball game. If you can keep these guys in that 3rd and 3 to 4 to 5 yards, it's a much more comfortable situation. They don't feel like they've got to force the football, make something happen up the field.
Kareem, the lone setback on 3rd and 3 from the 42. Kareem takes the pitch, and he's tripped up short of the marker.
I'll tell you, that was a great play right there by Pat Angerer. Spectacular read of that quick flip to the outside. Got pressure immediately up the back in the backfield. No doubt in the Indianapolis Colts' mind what the Jaguars were going to try and do in that situation. They played it very well.
Angerer had a game early in the season, Sunday Night Football against Pittsburgh, in which he had 20 tackles against the Steelers. He has been a machine for this Indy defense. Joe LaFed signaling for the fair catch as the punt sails out of bounds at the Indianapolis 27. Timeout, we're tied at 3 in Indy. Well, all the talk here centering around this winless Colts team. And if they continue to go down this path, Steve, the question that everyone around the league seems to be asking is, at what point do you forego the stability that has defined this franchise with Peyton Manning and go select the youngster out of Stanford, Andrew Luck?
It's going to be a very, very interesting development over the course of this offseason. First off, Peyton, you see him right there talking to Anthony Gonzalez. You got to find out whether or not physically you feel like he can play and play for more than a couple of years. Because you pass up on a guy like Andrew Luck, you're passing up on a franchise quarterback. It's going to be an interesting development to watch this offseason for sure.
First and 10, whistle, and markers end the play before it began.
Number 69 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, Peyton Manning, his 3rd neck surgery in 19 months. And you see the college comparison. Andrew Luck and Stanford losing last night, Steve, for the first time this season.
Boy, Oregon sure make them look pretty ordinary last night. They were playing from behind the whole way. Oregon looked faster. Andrew Luck kept his team in it, though.
This is DeLon Carter, the rookie, on 1st and long. Well, Andrew Luck, certainly the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy this season in college football. Just an amazing quarterback and as mature a prospect as we've seen in decades out of the college ranks.
He is a total package. He's an athletic quarterback for such a big guy, too. He's 6'4", close to 250 pounds, and he can move and he can make all the throws. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that he's going to be a great NFL quarterback.
Interchanging things up here on 2nd and 12 from the Colts 25. They hit the 6-minute mark of the second, game tied at 3. Quick trigger release finds the tight end Jacob Tamme thrust into a prominent role today with the injury to Dallas Clark. Get scores and manage CBS Sports fantasy football teams on your mobile phone. To get there, the free app, simply call *CBS or visit cbssports.com/mobile.
Well, that was Matt Roth, defensive end, that read that play very well, got out there and made the tackle on Jacob Tamme. And now we're sitting here in another 3rd and long situation. Curtis Painter needs to be very careful with this football.
This is Painter, 3rd and 11, screen pass to Brown. Brown had the initial block by Tammy, but Jacksonville's defense converging quickly. Colts well short of the marker, will punt yet again.
Oh, a great play by Jacksonville pursuing there. That was Nate Collins on that tackle. Boy, the big man rumbling, 6'2", 298, pursuing Donald Brown right there, made a nice tackle.
McAfee kicking from his own 19. Mike Thomas signals fair catch, and this one takes an Indy bounce all the way down to the Jacksonville 21. Well, Indianapolis in many ways in a very similar position that they were after the 1997 season when they were forced to rebuild. Maybe not quite to that extent, but you wonder what road they're going down as this season progresses.
Oh, there's some pretty darn good football players in that bunch. They've done a great job of utilizing their first-round picks and really finding players that have been a part of this organization for so long. And I think that you're in a situation now where you've got a lot of different options. We'll talk about them more as the game goes along.
Jacksonville's offense onto the field, just 3 points to show for their efforts. Maurice Jones-Drew wrapped up by Robert Mathis, pickup of a yard. Clock continues to run, 4:26 to play before halftime. Tied at 3 here in Week 10 from Indianapolis.
Well, while we're talking about it too, Spiro, there's actually talk and different people around the NFL have mentioned the possibility of maybe seeing if there'd be anybody interested in trading for Peyton Manning. Now, who would have thought that, prior to this year? But in order to get that pick and make room for Andrew Luck for the future, that's something that you have to consider.
Sim Osgood in motion pre-snap on 2nd and 9. Gabbert finally has time to work, but an ugly-looking throw intended for Osgood on 2nd down.
That is an ugly throw. You're right. One of the things Jack Del Rio told us about Blaine Gabbert is that he can do all the things you want a quarterback to do. He can make all the tough throws. It's the short, easy ones that you want to really have him focus on the footwork and the delivery and the accuracy, giving those short balls that are right in front of him or on the outside, giving that guy a chance to catch it and make good positive yards.
Shaky start for Gabbert, just 4 of 10 in his first half now from the shotgun on 3rd and 9. Gabbert sacked. Penalty marker thrown behind the play.
Holding, 68 of the offense. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
Well, the Colts edge rushers have lamented the fact that they have not had many chances to rush the quarterback. They pin their ears back here and get to Gabbert.
Yeah, you saw right there at the top of the screen, right there, number 68, Guy Wimper pulling on Robert Mathis. I'll tell you, you say what you want to say, but Mathis and Freeney, Mathis a 9th-year player, these guys can bring it off the edge as well as anybody in the league.
Garcon backpedaling from his own 30. Picks up nice little return after the second effort. 51-yard punt and a 9-yard return. Thursday on CBS, a Cold War spy returns for revenge. Don't miss the new hit drama, Person of Interest. Thursday only on CBS. 3-3 your score here from Indianapolis. 3:25 to play before halftime. Spiro Dedes, Steve Berline, our entire CBS crew with you here in week number 10. What a difference a year makes in the NFL. Last December, Jacksonville and Indy battling each other for the top spot in the AFC South. And today come in with a combined record between them of 2-15. Tanner the give to Donald Brown on 1st down. Picks up 3 and gang tackled at the 39.
And Donald Brown has looked solid today. He's rushed for over 50 yards now. When he gets the seam, he gets up into that line of scrimmage, but he's not a Maurice Jones-Drew type of running back who's going to pound it up in there between the tackles, move the pile. He needs to have a crease, but if he gets it, he'll take advantage of it.
Painter under center on 2nd and 7 from the Colts 40. Jaguars coming on the blitz. Brown finding a very small crease and scoots out past the 45, picks up 5, and sets up the Colts with a 3rd and short.
And there are still elements of the Colts offense that Curtis Painter is able to do as far as at the line of scrimmage. Right there, he realized the blitz coming off the left side. Clint Session, number 55, showed the blitz early, and Curtis Painter was able to take the run away from that play and ended up being a nice positive play. He learned that from Peyton Manning.
Austin Collie, one of the 3 wide receivers, split at the top of your picture on 3rd and 3. This will be the final play before the 2-minute warning. Brown runs into a Jacksonville wall. DeJuan Landry getting him behind the line of scrimmage. And once again, Indianapolis will be forced to punt. 2-minute warning in Indy, tied at 3.
The 2-minute warning.
Well, the Colts offense again unable to move the chain, so Pat McAfee's had a busy afternoon on for his 5th punt. As we are still tied at 3, 1:56 to play here in the second. McAfee gets a high kick. Then on the short side, it'll take a Colts bounce inside the 20-point. Dangerous play by Mike Thomas. Colts are saying that it may have gotten him on the foot.
That's going to get Jack Del Rio's blood pressure going right there, I guarantee you. Mike Thomas, look at him. He's going out there to meet him on the field.
What could he possibly have been thinking here?
I have no idea.
An illegal touch of the ball by the kicking team at this spot. Be 1st and 10, Jacksonville there.
Yeah, it didn't look like Mike Thomas touched that football, but boy, he was within hairs of nicking that football. And Jack Del Rio, so what are you thinking? You kidding me? Combine these 2 quarterbacks, Spiro, 73 yards through the air. To score points in the NFL, you've got to make yards in the air. Bottom line.
His average is 4 for 10, 28 yards passing. It's been Maurice Jones-Drew and nothing else. He's over the 50-yard mark after a nifty 1st down run out past the 35 and finally brought down at the 37. Coming up, the Sprint Halftime Report. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. 1st and 10, draw play, Jones-Drew. Another good burst inside Indianapolis territory, brought down by Pat Angerer at the Colts 49. So 2 rushes and 2 first downs in succession.
I guarantee you, Jack Del Rio's intention was to run out the clock on this drive. With Blaine Gabbert out there, you don't want to give the Colts a chance to score at the end of the half. But 2 long runs for Maurice Jones-Drew. Now you got to think about points. You're in a 2-minute offense now.
Has all 3 timeouts left. On 1st down, another draw play. Jones-Drew met by Angerer, picks up 2. And Jack Del Rio will burn his 1st timeout. So 44 seconds to play. Jacksonville threatening late stages of the 1st half. Josh Scobie getting his leg warmed up as Jacksonville moving the chains here, finally able to put something together. On 2nd down and 7. They've got 2 timeouts left. Gabbert finds Thomas. Nice job by the Colts secondary. A pickup of just a yard. Ernie Sims getting there first for the Colts. This was Scobie pregame. A 58-yarder. The roof is closed here. You can see the window on the west end of the stadium open. That's the direction that Scobie will be kicking in here.
He's got 5 field goals of 50-plus this year.
3rd and 7. Gabbert fires, completes over the middle. It's Jared Dillard for the 1st down catch. And Jacksonville will burn its 2nd timeout, a 20-yard pass play. And by far, Gabbert's best throw this afternoon.
Oh, without a doubt. Look, he's got the nice pocket. Ball is delivered on time, on the money, at a nice, clean read. Very, very impressive throw right there. Jared Dillard made a nice catch. I'll tell you, that's about as easy as it gets in the NFL, but boy, Gabbert sure looked good delivering that ball. and it was on the money with Zip.
Dillard, the third-year man out of Rice, saddled by injuries over his first 2 years. As now Josh Scobie will come onto the field. Del Rio will take no chances. It'll be a 45-yard attempt. With 7 seconds remaining.
Scobie's never made 16 field goals in a row. He's got 15 at this point.
Tied his career best from 2006. It has the distance, but not even close. The old broadcaster's curse from Steve Berline.
I am sorry, Jack Del Rio. I had to point that out. Before the kick, he's made 15 consecutive. He's been absolute money all year. It's the third time he's made 14 or more field goals in a row to start a season. And that 15 is just a number he can't get over.
I mean, was there any doubt he was going to miss that kick?
You know, I had to throw it out there. I don't know if it's proper or not, but man, I'm sorry.
69 reports as an eligible receiver. 69 is eligible.
So Scobie had tied his career long for consecutive field goals, 15 in a row to start this season.
I've got a lot of my friends down in Jacksonville very upset with me right now. I expect to be getting some hits very quickly.
Steve, we expected a low-scoring game, and that's exactly what we've got here in Indianapolis. Blaine Gabbert, 6 of 12, 48 yards in the first half. Our score at halftime, Jacksonville 3 and the Colts 3. The Sprint halftime report is coming up next. Our halftime score from Indianapolis, the Colts and the Jaguars all tied at 3. And Spiro Dedes and Steve Berline back with you. The NFL on CBS continues here in Week 10. We expected defensive play to carry the day here, and that's exactly what's been the case so far.
Well, we expected exactly what we thought, a very low-scoring game, because both of these teams really struggling this year on offense. Two of the worst-scoring 3 teams in the NFL, and it has not disappointed from that standpoint at all. No doubt about it.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. The NFL Mobile Recap presented by Verizon.
Well, the play here, Blaine Gabbert picked off by Gerard Powers in the red zone, taking points off the board for his own team. That's a big-time no-no. Blaine Gabbert with a rookie mistake. And I'll tell you, those are the kind of things that cost you ball games. This is a team that missed a field goal at the end of the first half. Jacksonville, they had a chance there when Blaine Gabbert threw the interception. You look at the stats, not a whole lot of impressive stuff. You got a lot of negative yards. Plays with negative yards for sure. Punts all over the place. Only 1 turnover each team early. But I'll tell you, whoever gets that offense going even remotely is going to be in control of this ball game. It's been kind of dead to this point.
Indianapolis 0-9, Jacksonville 2-6, fresh off its bye week last weekend. But so far, both offenses have continued to struggle. Jacksonville dead last in the league in scoring. Indianapolis not far behind them, averaging just 14 points per game. Steve, it's a very unforgiving and quickly changing NFL. Last December, Indianapolis and Jacksonville were neck and neck for the top spot in the AFC South.
It is amazing, and you look at things that other teams have done the other way. You look at what Cincinnati has done with their new rookies, A.J. Green and Andy Dalton out there leading the way, 6-2. Tied for the lead in their division. It can turn very quickly either way.
Jacksonville will return the kick here. Deji Kareem from the back end of his end zone trying to take a chance. And the gamble pays off out past the 25 and brought down at the Jaguars 26. See what is ahead for both of these teams. See where they stand through Week 10. Toughest strength of schedule from here on out.
And both of these teams are tied for third to this point with the most difficult schedule in the NFL played to this point, and it doesn't get any easier for either one of them. They still have a very stacked deck against them the second half of the season.
Maurice Jones-Drew, 78 yards in the first half, gets right back to work here. Picks up a couple on first down, tackle made by Connor, the outside linebacker. Jack Del Rio, 9th year as the Jaguars head coach. Mandate handed down by his owner prior to the season that this must be a playoff year. Steve, it's a franchise that has not won a postseason game since 1999. Gabbert from the shotgun on 2nd and 8. Jones drew. Inches just past the line of scrimmage. Picks up just a yard. Antoine Bethea with the tackle.
Well, Maurice Jones-Drew, he's run for over 80 yards today. But the bottom line is, as good as he is, it's so difficult to move the football all the way down the field just running the ball. There are very few teams that can do it on a regular basis. You've got to have your trigger man, your quarterback, making plays in the passing game. Maurice Jones-Drew will do his part, no doubt about it.
Jaguars just 1 of 6 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 7. Gabbert feels the pressure, tucks it away, but is well short of the first down marker as Jacksonville will punt. Robert Mathis applying the pressure for the Colts.
And he can still run. We talked about him earlier, 9th year in the league. Robert Mathis still able to pursue, run down Blaine Gabbert, force him out of bounds.
So Jacksonville will punt. Nick Harris on from his own 16. Pierre Garçon back to return from the Colts 26. Garçon sprinting, fielding, and is immediately dropped. Hard hit at the Colts 37 after a 33-yard punt and no yards on the return. Early second half from Indianapolis. We're tied at 3. Well, this is not the kind of offensive output that these Colts fans have grown accustomed to seeing here. Of course, all expected in the absence of Peyton Manning. It's been another struggle of a game. It's 3 points early in this 3rd quarter. We're tied at 3. Just under 13 minutes to play in the 3rd. Spiro Dedes, Steve Berline, our entire CBS crew. 7-yard hookup between Painter and Brown. Tackle made by Derek Cox.
Well, as you stated in the open, Spiro, as expected, struggling for sure. Peyton Manning not on the field. You know it's going to be tough, but I think, as you said, it's showing his value. Maybe, if anything, he's been underrated to this point in his career.
2nd and 3 from the Colts 43. Brown kind of lost his footing a bit. And it's easy, Steve, to pile it on Curtis Painter, but you know better than anyone when you're a backup quarterback and a guy like Peyton Manning is getting all the reps in practice, because to be as great as he is, Peyton wants every snap in practice and workouts. Painter, before this year, barely got a sniff.
Right. You look at his experience. You know, he's a 3rd-year player, but really, experience-wise, playing time-wise, he truly is like a rookie. He knows the offense more. He's more comfortable than a rookie would be in terms of what he's seen, but he hasn't done it much.
Of course, had virtually no offseason with the NFL lockout. This is 3rd and 3. Pass sales too high. Intended for Garçon, and once again the Colts will punt.
Well, you know, this is a... Do you call Pierre Garçon open here? Now, he's not really open, but he's open enough to where that ball needs to be thrown better. I mean, Peyton Manning, I've seen him complete that ball many times over the years, and at that level, that's a throw where coaches are expecting you to make it and complete it.
Injury update on Rasheed Mathis. It is confirmed a left knee injury, will not return. Nothing further than that. There's an excellent punt by McAfee, 48 yards and nothing on the return for Jacksonville. Timeout early 3rd quarter in Indy.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And by Ford. Drive one. Game
tied at 3, 11:29 to play, 3rd quarter from Indianapolis. Week 10 matchup, AFC South between the Jaguars and Colts. Blaine Gabbert's offense onto the field. They have accumulated just 135 yards of total offense. They have the early turnover. And as has been the story all year, it's been Maurice Jones-Drew and nothing else. The story, meantime, the Colts defense. Well,
right there, the opening drive, Blaine Gabbert's first pass picked up by Gerard Powers, but this Colts defense, there's no doubt what they're looking for. They're looking for Maurice Jones-Drew. He has had success running the football. He's up over 80 yards, 87 yards to be exact, but Jim Caldwell knows that's not going to beat him today. Blaine Gabbert has to make some throws for him to be concerned.
Jones-Drew approaching 90 yards. He's gotten there and more. Will move the chains for Jacksonville as virtually the entire Colts defense has to help to bring him down. Antoine Bethea, Gerard Powers combining on the tackle.
Well, Spiro, this is a Colts defense that just 3 weeks ago against the Saints gave up 557 yards, 36 first downs, 236 yards rushing. But that's such a balanced attack that Indianapolis, they can't match up against a team that if they don't know what they're going to do. Right now, they know Jacksonville's going to run the ball every time.
Jones-Drew takes a hard hit by Connor. Jones-Drew, Steve, one of the most affable personalities in sports. I had a chance to visit with him last night. Every time we see him, he'll mention his young children. Has a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 20-month-old and a 7-month-old child. Jokes that his wife Ashley says all the time that she went to college to become a domestic engineer.
And a mighty good one.
Jones-Drew and company here facing 2nd and 9. Gabbert goes to the airwaves, not even close. Intended for the tight end Zach Potter. It'll be 3rd and long.
And I can see a little bit of frustration in Jack Del Rio's face. You know, he had a chance right there with Zach Potter to get him the football. Blaine Gabbert a little bit early with that ball. Those are the ones that he wants to see Blaine Gabbert make more consistently. The short timing throws that require accuracy, anticipation. He's just not quite there yet.
Gabbert was 22 years of age, 10th overall pick in last April's NFL draft. Gabbert feeling the pressure, finds Deji Kareem out of the backfield. He's got the first down and more. Brought down at the Jaguars 47 after a pass play of 17 yards.
And that's a huge play for Blaine Gabbert right there, because one of the other things that we got out of our meeting with Jack Del Rio was he's not using his running backs as his check down receivers on these situations right here. He's got to understand that when the defense drops back in these 3rd and long situations, they're giving you that short one, but you got some pretty good athletes in Deji Kareem and Maurice Jones-Drew. Let them run with the football, see if they can get a first down.
Kareem on 1st and 10. One of the few guys in the NFL that has been given permission to wear a visor. Visors were outlawed by the league back in '98. But Kareem, suffering from cataracts, has had multiple surgeries. And now getting a chance here with Maurice Jones-Drew on the sideline. We'll stay in the game all season long with the NFL's new selection of mobile apps. Get unparalleled access to stats, fantasy news, video, and more. Just visit NFL.com/mobile today. There's Jones-Drew. Gabbert's numbers on the afternoon as we come up on 8 minutes to play in the 3rd. All tied at 3. Gabbert on 2nd and 10. Again finds the running back Kareem out of the backfield. Philip Wheeler among the tacklers for the Colts as Kareem loses a yard.
That play very well played by Indianapolis. That was a design little quick screen pass outside to Kareem. Played very well. Jerry Hughes, the defensive end, sniffed it out, made Gabbert again throw it up over the top, and then the pursuit by the inside part of the Indianapolis Colts defense, very strong.
Now let's see what Gabbert can do here. 3rd and 11.
Watch Freeney and Mathis on the ends here.
Gabbert sacked. Penalty marker thrown. Mathis getting there for the Colts. And now we'll see what the marker is all about. Jacksonville at least signaling with some of the guys on the field that it's against Indianapolis.
Illegal to hands to the face. Number 96 in the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That is a heartbreaker for the Colts. We talked about Matt. Look at him just coming around the edge. He's just too quick for Guy Wimper. But the Tyler Brayton with the illegal hands to the face right here. This is where it's happening, right there in the middle of your screen. He came up underneath the chin of Even Britton.
Steve, when you're 0-9, those are the kind of penalties you take. Just a back-breaking infraction against the Colts defense gives the Jaguars a 1st and 10 from the 46. Jones-Drew shot out of the cannon. Inside Colts territory, picks up 7. Tackle made by Connor, and it will be 2nd and short. Jones-Drew now over the century mark, 104 yards on 19 carries.
Well, I'll tell you, when you have those unsportsmanlike those personal fouls on a big play like the sack by Mathis, those are backbreakers for your defense.
The sun starts to peek through the windows here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Jones-Drew going nowhere that time, as Jacksonville will face a 3rd down. Tonight on 60 Minutes, congressional approval ratings are at an all-time low and are likely to sink further when Americans Here with 60 Minutes has uncovered. Tonight, only on CBS. Jack Del Rio will insert Deji Kareem here on 3rd and 3 on the Indianapolis 48. Gabbert flushed out, gets the 1st down, needed to get to the Colts 44. He picks up 5 and moves the chains.
Well, you got to admire his moxie, to say the least. I mean, he's a kid that loves to compete. He didn't see what he wanted to see up the field. He trusts himself, and right here knew he had to pick up the 3 yards for his team for the 1st down. There was no slide. There was no looking for an opportunity to get out of bounds. He picked up the yardage needed. Nice 3rd down conversion.
First and 10. And the round play. 2nd time we've seen this from the Jaguars. It's Mike Thomas approaching the 30. So back-to-back 1st downs for Jacksonville. Thomas to the 32. And it looks like Antoine Buffet is shaken up.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike Thomas is a guy that, I remember Jack Del Rio talking about him in years past. Reminds him a lot of Steve Smith, the Pro Bowl wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. They want to find ways to get him the football. Have not been able to do it enough successfully, but he's a guy when you want to get the football to him, he's electric.
Thomas, the 3rd-year man out of Arizona, sets up a 1st and 10. Quick trigger throw. It's West over the middle. Inside the 20. And suddenly Jacksonville's offense kicking it into high gear. They pick up 13 more yards.
A good solid throw right there, on time, on the money. Chasing West, catching the ball, running. Hey, this kid's looking pretty good. The 1st-year player out of Fresno State. He's made a couple of big catches today for Blaine Gabbert.
So West will get a breather. They spot it at the Colts 18 on 1st and 10. Deji Kareem stays onto the field. Jones-Drew on the sideline. Kareem gets to the 15. And now it looks like this Colts defense starting to fatigue. Clock continues to run. We come up on 3 minutes to play in the 3rd. 2nd and 7. With Jacksonville threatening.
Well, this is the 2nd time the Jaguars have been in the red zone today, coming into the game. Absolute worst in the NFL in terms of the number of times they've been in the red zone. Only 12 times all season. So they're not overly comfortable in this situation.
15th play of the drive at 2nd and 7. Kareem, the workhorse on this drive, approaches the Colts 10. And it will be 3rd and short. David Caldwell got there first for the Colts.
A good solid run stuff defense right there by Indianapolis. A lot of blue shirts. Deji Kareem not able to move that pile the way that Maurice Jones-Drew does. Here he comes back in right now.
See the mix between a run and pass. A long drive, by far the most impressive drive by either team in this game. Time of possession on the drive approaching 10 minutes. Big 3rd and 3 from the Colts 11. Gabbert sees something he doesn't like and will burn
Timeout.
a Jacksonville timeout.
Jacksonville, they're first.
Third down, Jacksonville.
A little tip of the cap to our military. A couple of days after Veterans Day, huge 3rd and 3 play for Jacksonville here.
Look for Mercedes Lewis, tight end.
Gabbert, end zone, caught, touchdown. Jared Dillard from 11 yards out, and Jacksonville takes the lead.
Wow, that was a really good, quick decision by Blaine Gabbert. Ball up on the money on time, and a great release. The key for a short fade like that in the red zone is for that receiver to get off the line quickly and give that quarterback the confidence that he's going to be able to get to that football. He made Thomas look pretty silly right there. Nice throw by Blaine Gabbert over the top of Kevin Thomas.
First touchdown of Jared Dillard's 3-year NFL career. Extra point by Scobie is good, and Jacksonville retakes the lead here in Indy. 10-3 Jaguars at Lucas Oil Stadium. Timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by E-Trade. And by the Droid Razor. Thin is no longer frail, only at Verizon.
Well, by far the most impressive drive from either of these two teams today. 16 plays, 86 yards in just under 10 minutes. Capped off by Jared Dillard's first career touchdown reception. And that's where we stand, 10-3 Jacksonville. Joe LeFege will take a knee and take the touchback for Indianapolis. So $1:49 left in the 3rd. It's an AFC South battle here in Indy in week number 10. Timeout. Curtis Painter and Indianapolis back onto the field. 10-3 lead for Jacksonville, late 3rd quarter. Reggie Wayne with his first catch today, just the 2nd time they've thrown to him this afternoon. And during the timeout, Peyton Manning and Steve walking onto the field to give some encouragement to Painter as this offense continues to struggle.
If I'm Curtis Painter, I tap into that resource as much as I possibly can.
There's Painter on 2nd and 10. Completes to Collie just outside the 30. 11 yards and a Colts first down. And Curtis told us as we look at the replay that Manning has still been very active watching practice film, of course game film. And they'll spend a lot of time at the facility, Steve, and also over the telephone.
And as you see the nice completion to Austin Collie, you're exactly right. You'd expect nothing less so out of Peyton Manning. He's a gym rat, loves being around the game. He wants to help out any way he can.
False start, number 85 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, Peyton can tell Curtis he struggled as a rookie starting quarterback in the NFL as well. Lost 5 of his first 6 NFL starts.
I think they went 3-13 that year, if I'm not mistaken, too.
1st and 15. This is DeLon Carter, the rookie. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Paul Posluszny. Tuesday, a cop who remembers everything will turn to her family to solve a mystery you'll never forget. Mary Lou had her guests New Unforgettable, Tuesday only on CBS. Carter stays onto the field. Painter from the shotgun on 2nd and 10, just outside the Colts 30. Over the middle, finds Collie. Wrapped up and brought down immediately by Posluszny. Free agent linebacker acquisition. Spent his first 4 years with Buffalo. What an addition he has made to this Jacksonville defense. End of 3, and Indy 7-point Jacksonville lead. Colts down 7 as we begin the 4th quarter. Lucas Oil Stadium, downtown Indianapolis. Spiro Ditas, Steve Berline, our entire CBS crew with you. 3rd and 9 for Painter. A work from the shotgun. Painter feeling pressure. Completes to Collie. Austin Collie, 3rd-year man out of BYU. A very quiet first half has come on. 11-yard reception and a Colts first down.
Well, you're going to see Jeremy Mincy off the right side just pushing Jeffrey Lincolnbach right back into Curtis Painter, but I really like the way that Curtis Painter stood in there, looked it right in the eye, and delivered a nice, difficult throw to convert that 3rd down.
Best that Painter has looked all day. Now 11 of 15 throwing is Painter. DeLon Carter on first down. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Let's get an update from New York and James Brown.
All right, partners, take a look at what Cincy is doing. And the young quarterback, Andy Dalton, bringing his team back. Jermaine Gresham in the back of the corner of the end zone, tying the game 17-17. Andy Dalton's 2nd touchdown of the day. His 14th of the season. They were down 14-0. Back to Spiro and Steve.
Well, huge postseason implications there. AFC North standings entering Week 10 in the NFL. 2nd and 10, Painter again from the shotgun. That's where he's been most comfortable today. Painter flushed out, rolling out, intercepted. No, they say incomplete. Boy, it looked as though Cox had made the catch. Painter dodges a bullet.
He's pleading his case right there, Derek Cox. It looked like a catch to me from up top here, too. We'll get a good shot right here. Yep, good call. I'll tell you, it's amazing how often those guys in the striped shirts are correct with their call. Those plays happen so boom, boom, but they were right on there.
Well, Jack Del Rio thought about throwing the challenge flag and then sure got the advice from upstairs to save it. So 3rd and 10, Painter from the shotgun as they spotted at the Colts 43. They come. Painter gets good protection, throws across his body and finds his man, Jacob Tamme, for the first down inside Jaguars territory.
Well, we said in the open that the Colts are so dependent on Dallas Clark and his production that Jacob Tamme was going to have a chance to show he could do it too today. A couple of big catches for first down.
11 yards through the air, 1st and 10. They throw. Painter is intercepted. And no doubt this time William Middleton with the pick. 2nd interception Painter is throwing today, as that'll thwart an Indianapolis drive that was headed to something. Well, they barely looked at Reggie Wayne's direction, double covered, and an interception.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Well, we're back here in Indianapolis, and there's a challenge that has taken place while we were away. Jim Caldwell challenging the number of players on the field for the Jaguars. Let's count them up here for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That is one too many on the field. That is reviewable. And if indeed that is the case, if my counting is accurate, unless I messed up from 1 to 12, this is going to be Indianapolis's ball back. A very observant job by the staff for the Indianapolis Colts.
So that is, of course, a reviewable situation as they continue to look at the replay.
Well, let's just confirm it one more time. We'll go from the top to the bottom here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Steve, your math skills are on point today.
Well, I tell you what, it's good to have something that counts for you. That's all I can tell you. Good to have the tools.
Well, they're trying to make sure that their math is correct as the officials continue to look at the replay. Colts offense, meantime, is sneaking back onto the field. They feel good about this being called in their favor.
Yeah, Curtis Painter knows that he got away with one right there. We were going to show you what a bad decision that was. It doesn't matter anymore, but he predetermined he wanted to go to Reggie Wayne. I understand the pressure to try to get the ball to the great Reggie Wayne on the outside, but that was not the time to take a shot.
Well, it's been a tough year for Painter. Came in to training camp knowing the medical condition that Peyton Manning was faced with. Expected to be the starter maybe for week 1, but no more than that. Manning was expected to come back. Then, of course, the news that he would be done indefinitely. Kerry Collins eventually came on before he was lost for the season. Here's the official call.
During the timeout, Indianapolis challenged the ruling on the field, saying there were 12 players on the field. There are 12 defensive players on the field at the snap. We will penalize 5 yards, and it will be 1st and 5 at the 41-yard line. Indianapolis is not charged a timeout, and the clock will start on the snap. Correction, on the ready for play.
Well, Jack Del Rio very upset about this, but you can see it's very clear there are 12 guys on the field.
Number 69 reports as an eligible receiver. Number 69 reports as eligible.
Those are the plays that win and lose ball games. You know, your defense steps up and makes a great play to preserve that 7-point lead. Now you give the Colts and this whole stadium new life and the belief that, hey, maybe we are meant to score a touchdown on this drive.
Colts today trying to avoid becoming the 8th team in the last quarter century to start a season 0-10. And no man wears a more frustrated look than Reggie Wayne. As we sat down with him on Friday, Wayne, with the exception of his rookie year, has won at least 10 games every year he's been here in Indianapolis. He's had a quiet day today. This is 1st and 5 after the penalty at the Jacksonville 41. Painter gets to Donald Brown. Picks up a couple. Tackle made by Matt Roth.
You talk about Reggie Wayne, that one catch that he had for, I believe it was -1 yard or no yards, was the 90th consecutive game he's got a catch, a reception. And it also tied him with Larry Centers for number 19 all-time on the receptions list. His next catch will put him in the 19th place alone.
Wayne has posted 1,000 yards receiving in 7 straight years, one short of Marvin Harris's franchise mark of 8. Austin Collie continues to be the catalyst on this drive. Out of bounds, Indianapolis showing some life offensively. Coming up, the Subway postgame show from New York. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest scores and highlights. The Subway postgame show coming up next. So first down hookup. Collie, 4 catches, 31 yards, 1st and 10 from the Jacksonville 31. Jaguars showing blitz. Intercepted again. Painter picked off by Posluszny at the 20. Tried to flip it back. That was after Posluszny was contacted on the ground. Landry's return negated, but that Painter interception will stand. Contact just as he released. Jacksonville possession when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by TD Ameritrade. State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking. Get to a better state. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Well, Curtis Painter just cannot seem to get out of his own way. This Indianapolis offense putting up just 3 points. Another Painter pick, and Dan Orlovsky getting warm on the Indian sideline. So 10-3 Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew looked like ran into his own offensive lineman, Will Rackley, on the play.
Well, this last interception was not totally Curtis Painter's fault. Watch right here. You're going to see Mike Tepper get blown back into the backfield by Darryl Smith, the linebacker. He's on roller skates. He gets bumped into Curtis Painter as he's letting go of that ball. That's why that ball was off target. Not sure whether Curtis Painter would have had a chance to complete the ball, but he sure wouldn't have thrown an interception right into the face mask of one of the Jaguar defenders.
It has been a long 9 weeks for Painter in this offense. Here's Gabbert, 2nd and 9. Over the middle, Gabbert finding Chaston West. West, the late addition to this offense, picks up 13 yards and another Jacksonville first down.
Well, that last drive was something else, too. They did a little bit of everything. Held the ball for about 10 minutes, like you said, Spiro, but running the ball, passing the ball. Blaine Gabbert made some good decisions, both with the football, throwing it down the field, and also using his feet. You see Mike Thomas on the reverse, and then the touchdown pass to Dillard to finish off the deal. And that's where we stand right here, 10-3.
Jack Del Rio's team, fresh off its bye week, looking for their 3rd win of the season and a chance to move up in the AFC South. Maurice Jones-Drew, 106 yards today. Picks up 2 more in the air as we move under 10 minutes left in the 4th.
Well, this is going exactly the way Jack Del Rio wants it to go right now. He knows that as his offense continues to adjust and as Blaine Gabbert continues to progress as a quarterback, they're not going to be a juggernaut offensively. They've got a good defense, playing well, not letting opponents score many points. If they can get the lead, he knows his defense is going to fight hard and preserve that lead the best they can, and the Colts are not a come-from-behind team.
This is Gabbert, 2nd and 8. Finds the tight end Mercedes Lewis. But Lewis loses yardage. And drop him for a 4-yard loss. Drake Nevis getting a chance at some playing time today. Got there first for the Colts.
I'll tell you, aside from that last drive, Spiro, which obviously Jacksonville did a lot of good things in that drive, this Colts defense has played very well today. They're not playing like a defense that is ranked 31st in the NFL. They're coming out and hitting these Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sim Osgood, one of 3 wide receivers for the Jaguars on 3rd and 12. Gabbert checks down to Jones-Drew. His cutout move to the outside, extending to the marker. Let's see if they spot it for Jacksonville. Pat Angerer taken for a ride. And this is awfully close.
It is
at least initially it looks as though it may be just short.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the chain is right on that 45-yard line, and that's where the tip of the ball is. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he got this or not. It is about as close as it can be. But what can you say about Maurice Jones-Drew?
At his size, Steve, that change of direction ability is just incredible.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And they had him dead to rights a couple of times.
I was wrong. They got it.
Well, they got it by the nose, huh? Wow. It was like he knew exactly where he needed to get that football.
Huge first down pickup. It'll extend the Jaguars' drive and give them a chance to run down this clock even further.
This is actually a pretty well-played screen pass by the Indianapolis Colts. They got to make 12 yards. And right there, the missed tackle, that was Kevin Thomas that had him coming from the outside in, had the angle, but Maurice Jones-Drew wasn't looking at him, but felt him all the way. What a great move.
Mercedes Lewis in motion, 1st and 10. Aji Kareem buried in the backfield. Sherrod Powers, Pat Angerer there for the Colts. They'll set up a 2nd and long. Tomorrow on CBS, 5-0's turning up the heat. Hot case, hot cars on a hot new Hawaii 5-0. Tomorrow, only on CBS. Reggie Wayne helplessly looking on. 7:38 remaining. He and the Colts trailing by 7. As Gabbert and Jacksonville have it, 2nd and 15 from the 40. Kareem. Going to weave his way up the gut. Gets to the 42. Tackle made by Philip Wheeler. Jacksonville, Steve, just 2-6. They can get a win today, get themselves to 3-6. And anything's possible in the AFC South. Houston, of course, out in front.
Well, when you talk to the Jacksonville Jaguars, everybody we spoke to yesterday, they know they've got half a season left. They feel like it's only been a couple of plays difference in a couple of their losses. They believe that if they can get hot, they can find themselves back in the hunt. Now, it's a long shot, but they believe it to this point.
3rd and 13, Gabbert. Oh, we've seen him check down extensively today. Kareem inside Colts territory, but he's about 5 yards short of the first down.
But that is a good play right there for this situation, for Blaine Gabbert to learn how to play quarterback at this level. That is what we've seen these last couple of drives. His willingness to not force the football, to take the check down. It's a field position game right now. Your team is in control. Don't make the big mistake.
Pierre Garçon back deep to return the punt from Nick Harris. Garçon from his own 10. A return of about 2, maybe 3. As Indianapolis will make a change at quarterback when we come back. Curtis Painter pulled by Jim Caldwell in favor of that man, Dan Orlovsky. 3rd appearance as a Colt, 1st season here in Indy. Keep it on the ground on 1st and 10. The Connecticut connection, Orlovsky and Donald Brown. As Painter again struggling in his 7th start of the season.
It started early for Curtis Painter. The first pass that he threw right there, intercepted on the outside, and then little overthrow to Reggie Wayne right there. Just never really seemed to get his rhythm. That last interception, not totally his fault, but he's made a lot more bad throws than good today. I think the move is justified.
There's Orlovsky, 2nd and 8, over the middle, complete. Pick up of 5 finds Reggie Wayne at the 20. That'll set up a 2nd and short. There's Painter looking on.
And you know, 13 and 19 doesn't look too bad, but the 2 interceptions, and you're talking about well less than 7-8 yards per completion on the stat sheet there. So it's just not a lot of plays up the field, nothing real positive.
Orlovsky under pressure. It's knocked out of his hands and will count as an interception. Jeremy Mincy had it fall right into his mitts. And Jacksonville in business deep inside Colts territory. Mincy actually dislodged the football.
Mincy on the hit. You can see he just gets around Anthony Costanzo, the rookie 1st-round draft choice, and that ball falls right into the lap of Tyson Alualu. He's the one that picked it off. Mincy just beating him with speed around the edge, and you know, when it rains, it pours. Orlovsky in there, you think Jim Caldwell thinking maybe we can get something positive going. There's still time in this ball game to get back into position to score and tie the ball game up, and now here's Jacksonville with a chance to ice it.
So 4:48 remaining. Mercedes Lewis in motion on 1st and goal. Colts have all 3 timeouts remaining. Philip Wheeler on the tackle. So Tyson Alualu with the gift. Made possible on the rush by Jeremy Mincy.
I'd be very, very surprised if in any situation Jack Del Rio decides to allow Dirk Cutter to call a pass play in this situation. You're in field goal range. The field goal makes it a 2-score ball game. I think you're going to see the ball on the ground for the rest of this drive.
Jones-Drew on 2nd and goal. Battering ram bowling his way inside the 5. Tackle made by Angerer after an NFL collision at the 3.
Well, there's a great example of the power of Maurice Jones-Drew. The Colts defense knows he's going to get that football, yet he's continuing to drive those legs and move the pile.
Timeout. Indianapolis. Their first.
Colts
3:55.
take the first of 3 timeouts. Reminder coming up, the Subway postgame show from New York. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest scores and highlights. That's all coming up next on the Subway postgame show. Dan Orlovsky, first season here in Indy, last couple of years in Houston. Was a member of that 2008 Detroit Lions team, and of course was the only team in league history to go 0-16. 7th year in the NFL. That young man has seen his share of losing.
After that many losses, you start to begin to wonder if you're the problem. Even though you didn't have a lot to do with it, you were there for all of it.
Orlovsky helplessly looking on here. 3rd and goal. Indy's defense desperately trying to keep Jacksonville out of the end zone. Jones drew into the end zone, touchdown. And Jacksonville on the verge of building a 2-touchdown lead.
Well, not much to say about this. He just takes the ball right down the pipe, right behind Ryan Deem and, right behind Uche Nwaneri and Brad Meester. Very little contact even with him. He just had to get that ball across the goal line. Good solid punctuation mark, taking advantage of the turnover deep in Indianapolis territory.
Scobie's point after makes it a 14-point Jacksonville lead. And Maurice Jones-Drew rewarded for another day at the office. 114 yards for the 2-time Pro Bowler. It's 17-3 Jacksonville.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. Switch now and get a whole home DVR upgrade for free. And by Subway. So many $5 footlong favorites available every day.
Oh, some of those memorable seasons. And you saw hanging from the rafters the banners here at Lucas Oil Stadium seem a distant memory this season. Peyton Manning wondering when there'll be some light at the end of the tunnel. 17-3 Jacksonville. As Indianapolis now staring down the barrel of 0-10 with under 4 minutes remaining. Well, Steve, you wonder where that elusive victory can come from. Here is the remaining schedule. Colts will have the bye next weekend before Carolina comes to town late November.
I'll tell you, the bye, what a terrible way to go into the bye week. But I think realistically, you got Carolina at home after the bye, and in the last game of the year at Jacksonville. You could make a case maybe they have a chance versus Tennessee as well, but at New England, at Baltimore, and Houston playing as well as anybody right now, those are tough ball games.
Dan Orlovsky coming on for Curtis Painter for the 3rd time in the last 4 games. First completion to Jacob Tamme. First down hookup out past the 30, pickup of 13 yards. Orlovsky, 7th NFL season. Signed a free agent contract to join Indy before this season after spending the last 2 in Houston. Orlovsky slings it near side to Tamme. Now past the 45, so back-to-back first down pass plays, 13 more yards. Tackle made by DeJuan Landry.
Jacksonville more than willing to give up those plays in the middle of the field. Nothing over the top. They'll tighten up as they get a little bit closer to the end zone.
1st and 10, Orlovsky to Tamme. Tamme arguing for a face mask and a late marker thrown. Tamme was tackled inside Jaguars territory at the 47.
And I don't know if Przinski was guilty of the face mask or Paul Posluszny.
Personal foul, face mask, number 42 of the defense. 15 yards added at the end of the play, first down.
That's Chris Przinski, the rookie 4th-round draft choice out of Wyoming, in for this nickel 2-minute situation. And you get these playing time, these reps. Jack Del Rio and Mel Tucker do not want to see these meaningless penalties giving them extra yards.
Donald Brown, the lone setback, 1st and 10. Orlovsky sacked. DeJuan Landry on the blitz. They dump him down for a loss of 4. It'll be 2nd and long.
This would be a half a sack each for DeJuan Landry, number 26, and you're also going to see Nate Collins coming in right there to finish it up.
Colts have taken a timeout.
Man, Dan Orlovsky's got to feel that pressure, feel the blitz coming, and you got to know you cannot hold the football that long under that kind of pressure.
Now, granted, Steve, Jacksonville is basically in a prevent defense here, so Orlovsky has a chance to put together some completions.
Right.
As to see what Jacksonville has done getting to the quarterback. But if Orlovsky can look halfway decent here, you wonder if maybe he gets an extra look to be the starter during the bye week.
Well, you can make a case for sure. I would not be surprised. Curtis Painter's had a multi-game run here, and there's not been a lot to be excited about other than his first 2 starts, where he came out like gangbusters.
False start, 74 the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So the penalty against the Colts.
In Jacksonville, they start off the second half of their schedule with the win today. Look at what they've got left. Not an easy road, but some winnable ball games in there when you really sit down and analyze it.
In Cleveland next Sunday. Another completion. Orlovsky to Pierre Garçon. 4th-year target. Colts leading receiver entering this one today. Now over 600 yards for the year. This will be 3rd and 7 from the Jacksonville 28. Clock continues to run. 2:25 remaining. With the Colts down 17-3. Orlovsky to the sideline, finds Wayne at the 20. First down for the Colts.
And that catch moves Reggie Wayne into number 19 all-time on the NFL receptions list with 828 career receptions. Just past a former teammate of mine, Larry Sinners, running back.
2-minute warning.
So that takes us to the 2-minute warning here in Indy. 17-3 Jacksonville. Timeout. Well, this is certainly uncharted waters for this Colts fan base in Indianapolis. They're 2 minutes away from an 0-10 start. They've become just the 8th team in the last 25 years to start a season with 10 consecutive defeats. 17-3 Jacksonville. Dan Orlovsky has come on after Curtis Painter got the hook. Orlovsky throws end zone too far in front of Garçon. Wanted a penalty, won't get one.
Could have had one, I believe. It was contact definitely up the field. But this will be the quickest development ever from a 10-0 team 2 years ago. They went 14-0 at one point, but they went 10-0 to 0-10 within 2 years. It's never been done before in the NFL.
Orlovsky on 2nd and 10, batted down by Darryl Smith. And Steve, really, no surprise. People expected the Colts to struggle, but certainly not to this level.
Not to this magnitude at all. We see a nice play by Darryl Smith right there. That could have been going the other way. Just one last note on Curtis Painter. His first 2 games, he averaged almost 280 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And since then, 7 interceptions, only 1 touchdown pass in the last 6 games.
Orlovsky finds Garçon on 3rd down. He's short of the marker. Derek Cox on the tackle, picks up 7, and it will be 4th down.
Timeout, Indianapolis.
Colts will burn their final timeout.
1:47 back up on the game.
With 1:46 remaining. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS features doubleheader games, including these matchups, and winds up when the Chargers take on the Bears or the Titans take on the Falcons. Check your local listings, beginning with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. Well, Blaine Gabbert will take a win any way he can get it. This would be his 2nd win as an NFL starter. Got one a couple of weeks back in a Monday night game in Baltimore. At home versus Baltimore. This one would get Jacksonville to 3-6. This is 4th and 2 meantime for the Colts. Orlovsky's pass deflected, incomplete, intended for Collie. And Jacksonville will get it on the turnover on downs.
Well, you talk about the upcoming schedule for Jacksonville going to 3-6 here now. With the way their defense is playing, and you look back at how they played Baltimore last time they played in that 12-7 win on Monday night a couple weeks back, their defense is going to keep them in every ball game if Blaine Gabbert and this offense can just continue to progress and not shoot themselves in the foot. They're going to have a chance to win a lot of ball games down the stretch. I know that's what Jack Del Rio is banking on, but it is going to come down to you are going to have to move the ball through the air to win in this league consistently. So Gabbert has got to develop and make some more plays in his passing game.
Maurice Jones-Drew 114 yards and a touchdown. Blaine Gabbert 14 for 21 for a $118, had a touchdown and a pick. Interception coming early in the game. And Jacksonville a minute 23 away from their 3rd win of the season. And you wonder what's going through that man's mind, Peyton Manning.
I know for a fact he wants to get out there and at least show the Colts staff that he can come back from this surgery, that he can play, and that they can ride him for another few years. Now, the question is, can he do that? The desire's there. I think there's got to be some doubt in his own mind. He's set December, some point in December, as his timetable. He'd like to be able to show that he can do it.
That's the next medical checkpoint in December, as that huge $28 million signing bonus due in February. So some huge decisions looming for Jim Caldwell and the Colts front office.
Now, the Colts have their lucky charm. Peyton Manning is the lucky charm. He's just not in uniform.
Final 26 seconds will come off the clock. Jacksonville with a 17-3 victory here in Indianapolis. Jaguars go to 3-6. Jim Caldwell's Colts become just the 8th team in NFL history in the last 25 years to start a season at 0-10. So your final score, Jacksonville 17 and the Colts 3. For Steve Berline, this is Spiro Dinasek. So long from Indianapolis. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the Subway postgame show will take you to New York for all the scores and highlights right after this.